Offset and Cardi B are done, but the headlines are just getting started. There are rumors he pushed for a DNA test on their youngest, questioning fidelity amid the split. There are rumors Cardi is pregnant, with whispers linking the timeline to Stefon Diggs, though nothing is confirmed. Offset, meanwhile, is on mic redefining the breakup on Full Send, saying marriage is not for him, calling it a mission complete, and telling men to wait until they have money. While speculation swirls, one thing is on the record today: a civil assault trial from a 2018 clinic encounter, where witnesses say they saw no physical fight. Tonight, we separate rumor from proof and lay out what actually stands right now. Offset is alleged to have sought a court-ordered DNA test for the youngest child, implying doubts about fidelity during the final stretch of the marriage. No docket entry, filing, or mainstream report currently corroborates that a petition exists. What does exist is a public split, heavy speculation, and a narrative that positions Offset as guarding his name, resources, and legacy. In coverage terms, this storyline matters because it colors every subsequent headline. Who posts what, who comments where, who shows up with whom. Our approach stays evidence first. Name the claim, state the verification status, and chart the stakes if it were ever substantiated: financial exposure, custody dynamics, and reputational heat across both fan bases. Until a court record, sworn statement, or authoritative outlet documents a DNA request, treat this as background chatter influencing perception, not as an established event. Labels on screen make the distinction clear while we monitor credible sources closely. Cardi B is widely speculated to be pregnant, with online chatter tying the timeline to her relationship with Stefon Diggs rather than Offset. Cardi has not announced a pregnancy, and no major outlet has verified one. Some posts circulate a screenshot of an Offset Instagram reply about legal responsibility, but the comment is not authenticated by reputable reporting. The speculation rests on wardrobe choices, camera angles, and selective clips framed as a baby bump, none of which meets a verification standard. For context, commenters reference the marital presumption of paternity, a concept that varies by jurisdiction and is settled through filings, not social captions. Our stance is simple: acknowledge what people are discussing, identify the absence of on-record evidence, and keep distinctions clear. Evidence would include a direct statement, a court document, or authoritative coverage. Until such material appears, this remains an unverified storyline tracked for completeness at this time. Where things stand now, Offset and Cardi B are no longer together. Communication is transactional, focused on the kids and schedules. Publicly, Cardi has been linked to NFL star Stefon Diggs since mid-2025, with photos and sightings making the rounds. Offset has pivoted to framing the breakup on his terms, using interview clips to say marriage isn't for him and that he's moving differently. Neither side has issued a detailed, line-by-line breakdown of their legal status in recent weeks. Filings and headlines don't always match, so we avoid guessing. What's clear is the media landscape. Every upload, like, and comment is now read as code about custody, money, and new relationships. That's the lens audiences are watching through. For this segment, we stick to what's on record: separation, co-parenting, Offset's public remarks, and Cardi's new public relationship, without declaring more than we can prove. That keeps the chapter sharp, fair, and factual. Offset's new podcast appearance is the first time in weeks he's framed the breakup entirely on his terms. On Full Send, he keeps it simple: marriage is not for me, the mission is complete, and men should wait till you get that money. The delivery is calm, not bitter, and the message is strategic. He is drawing a line between the public romance era and a new season that prioritizes money, movement, and control over his image. In practice, that means fewer sentimental posts, more curated. He also telegraphs the rulebook going forward. First, privacy. No more feeding the beast with reactive comments that turn into week-long cycles. Second, finances. Protect the brand, separate business from emotion, and avoid legal knots that drain time and leverage. Third, fatherhood. Keep communication functional and focused on the kids, not the crowd. Without naming anyone, he positions himself as a man who learned the hard parts of marriage in public and decided he won't repeat them on camera. The subtext lands: he's not here to validate timelines, theory threads, or screenshots. If it isn't on the record, it doesn't guide his life. That stance also explains the tonal shift. Fewer subliminals, more declarative statements about where he stands and what he will or won't do. For viewers, the takeaway is straightforward. He's moving the conversation from what happened between them to what happens with him as an artist and earner. Use these verified quotes precisely on screen and pair them with neutral B-roll, studio time, festival clips, business meetings. The contrast sharpens the point. Less gossip, more trajectory, and keeps this chapter anchored in statements he actually made, not in interpretations he never confirmed. That's the thesis of this segment today. Cardi B's court story is straightforward. A civil lawsuit seeking $24 million from building guard Imani Ellis over a 2018 hallway confrontation at a Beverly Hills OB/GYN while Cardi was pregnant. This is not a criminal prosecution. The outcome is money or no money. No jail time. Ellis alleges spitting, a scratch to the face caused by long nails, and verbal abuse. Cardi's position is that it was a heated verbal exchange triggered by being followed and filmed during a medical visit and that there was no physical contact. Witness accounts reported from the courtroom have so far aligned with Cardi's version. The clinic receptionist says she stepped between them, heard shouting, and saw no fight. She later noticed a small cut on her own head, sustained, according to testimony, when Ellis reached over her during the argument. Cardi's OB/GYN described Ellis striking the receptionist's shoulder and said he did not observe injuries on Ellis that matched the accusation. There has been no surveillance video entered into evidence. The case turns on testimony, credibility, and the plausibility of each side's narrative. Procedurally, the jury heard testimony across several days in late August, and the matter is set to resume shortly. The plaintiff is asking for compensation covering medical treatment, emotional distress, lost wages, and punitive damages. The defense is asking the jury to find no liability. For your segment, keep the lower thirds crisp. Civil case, $24 million damages sought. Receptionist, no physical contact. Doctor, plaintiff struck, receptionist. Emphasize that the only documented injury discussed in open court belongs to the receptionist, not Ellis, and that competing descriptions of nails, distance, and positioning are central. That framing keeps the chapter tight, factual, and focused on what is actually before the jury, rather than commentary outside the record. No verdict has been reached as yet. This story now lives in two tracks: what's confirmed on the record and what circulates as chatter. The confirmed track is simple to follow. Offset's full send remarks about marriage, the status of the split, and co-parenting. Cardi B's ongoing civil case with testimony that favors her account. Those items shape headlines without guesswork. The chatter track runs on screenshots, captions, and edits that imply timelines or motives without documents to match. Both tracks compete for attention, and audiences often blend them. For viewers, clarity matters. Label every unverified claim at the graphic level and keep the voiceover neutral when describing it. Then pivot hard to what is documented. Quote the podcast lines verbatim, summarize the court testimony in plain terms, and state the legal posture of the case. That balance lets the audience feel the heat without mistaking heat for proof. For the principals, the incentives are different. Offset's posture, no more romantic myth-making, protect brand and cash flow, reduces the oxygen for gossip. Cardi's position, stick to sworn testimony, let witnesses do the talking, keeps the courtroom narrative clean. Stefon Diggs is the crossover factor. Any public moment around him draws sports media into an already volatile loop. What actually moves the needle next? A filing, a judge's order, a sworn declaration, a statement on the record, or a verifiable post from a primary account. Until one of those appears, speculation remains background noise. Treat wardrobe clips and comment screenshots as engagement engines, not evidence. Editorially, your segment wins by being sharper than the feed. Use lower thirds such as confirmed podcast quotes, full send, and confirmed civil case testimony recap, alongside unverified paternity claim discourse and unverified pregnancy discourse. That structure lets the piece stay spicy, precise, and defensible, while positioning you as the source that separates attention from facts in real time. That's the split screen tonight. Attention versus evidence. We flagged unverified claims at the top, kept verified quotes and testimony tight, and cut the filler. If you're tracking this story, use a simple rule of thumb. Statements on the record, court documents, or primary posts are the only upgrades. Everything else is atmosphere. Offset's position is clear on full send, and Cardi's case sits inside a civil courtroom where money, not jail, is at stake. The rest is noise until proven otherwise. For creators, keep your lower thirds honest and your transitions clean. For viewers, separate what you feel from what you can show. If new filings appear, timelines shift. If sworn testimony breaks, narratives bend. Until then, treat screenshots and captions as engagement engines, not facts. We close where we started. No exaggerations, no hedging, just the line between talk and proof, drawn clearly enough to follow when the next chapter arrives.